Hello, my friend. Welcome to today's podcast episode. I'm your host, Joelle Cease. For those of you who don't know me, I am your host. I'm a mom of two. I live in the Midwest. And in our girl chats, we talk about a lot of different topics. And it's a really informal chit chat. So I hope that I'm catching you at a good time where you can maybe take a walk. Maybe you're doing tasks and things around the house and let's just chat. This is a lighthearted chat, but as always, I'm going to try to put in some tangible takeaways that will be helpful for you to use in your everyday life. So, first, I've got to start off by saying thank you for listening to this podcast because I have wanted to share the things that I'm going to talk about today on Instagram, and sharing things on Instagram is just not the same as sharing them here. And especially if you are somebody who is creating content online and you're maybe doing face to camera content where you're talking and you're sharing, or even posting content, look at your insights and look at your tap through rates. This is something I talk about with potential clients that are teaching and sharing in their social media stories. And when they see the amount of people that have seen the story and then tapped beyond the story, like the attention span on Instagram stories is around 5 to 10 seconds long. Isn't that crazy? And so I see Instagram and sharing on Instagram stories sometimes as just white noise and like I'm talking into an abyss. But when I'm talking here on the podcast, like you guys gave me great feedback in the last episodes, the one with Courtney, the one on having a bad day, and also the one on summer hacks. You guys were like, I thought you were going to say the typical things of summertime hacks and tips, and you really enjoyed the very simple but straightforward tips that I gave, like the car kit and the morning meetings. Oh my gosh, you guys, the morning meetings, and it's not even formal, it's just a touch point. My kids are eating breakfast. I sit down to have a little something to eat as well, and I give my kids a rundown of what the day is going to look like. And that alone has seriously felt so grounding for both me and my boys. So whether it's a day where they are going to summertime care during the day, or if they have activities during the day, or if they're spending a day at home with me and I have to get work done and get things done, and then we're going to go do this and we're going to go do that. I just seriously say, this is what we're going to do today, da, 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 and that's it. It is so, so simple. Sometimes if there's a lot of steps, I do have to make a visual list for my kids. Both of my kids can read. So when I write out this list, they both can and are able to read it. So if at all they need to go back to that list to what the plan is, it's written out for them. But most of the time I'm just recapping, like, or not recapping because this is happening on the forefront of the day, but I'm just like, okay, today is da da da. You have this, you have that. We're going to go to this. And then after that, we're going to do da da da. And then it'll be time to just hang out at home and then go to bed. So simple. And that has been so grounding. So make sure you check out the last couple episodes. And I finally get to share with you guys my 10K race recap. It was perfect. It was awesome. It was amazing. I still stand by a 10K is so underrated. A 10K is 6.2 miles, and it's the perfect distance because it's enough to challenge you, whether you haven't been a distance runner. So 6 miles is long for you. And also, if you are an experienced runner, I really think it's cool that you can really focus on shaving time off of your race time. And so the 10K was really great. My friend Katie and I, shout out to Katie, we rode up together and we were so early, but that was so nice because the full marathon and the half marathon started before us. We got there plenty of time to like take our time getting on our shoes, putting our running belts on, and just go to the bathroom, various things like that. We had so much time beforehand. And we started off the race, and for about the first mile and a half, I didn't have anything in my earbud. I was just running alongside Katie, and we were starting off Very, very, very easy. You guys, I actually used Chat GPT as a running coach for the last like 2, 3 months, even to the point where like I knew how many carbs to consume 3 weeks prior to the race, how to slowly increment those. So I'll talk about my weight loss and whatnot also, but I heard from my ChatGPT running coach and also a lot of the other running podcasts, like, do not start too fast. Take your time out the gate. So the first mile and a half was just really enjoying it. When we got past like the first mile and a half, I had queued up on my earbud a audio only guided run. It was the Kesha run on Peloton with Robin Arzon, and in that, it's a 30-minute guided run, all to Kesha songs, so they're all amazing. And then Robin's in your ear telling you to lock in a pace, push yourself a little bit, pull back a little bit. So it kind of was a staggered. I did that for 30 minutes. And then the last like 20 minutes of the run, I created my own playlist prior to the 10K of songs that were a mix of songs that really pump me up, a couple songs that really just mean a lot to me. And then I had my husband and my 2 boys select songs. So when those songs came on, I thought of them and dedicated that portion of the run to that song. And my husband picked like a really good like EDM song. My youngest picked Steve's Lava Chicken, which if you're a boy mom, you know, but it's a 40-second song. And when that song came on, I cooked for her for 40 seconds. Did I say 40 minutes? I meant 40 seconds. And then my older son selected an Imagine Dragons song, which was, they always have like a good beat, and it was really, really good. It was really fun. And I finished it at 1 hour and 6 minutes and 6 seconds. So now I have my benchmark number, and my next goal is to do a sub 1 hour 10K by the end of the summer. And so I'm going to be working and improving on my time and speed and also strength in June. And that's going to be my focus, where I'm going to pull back on the long runs, and I'm going to be focusing more on strength training with shorter distances, but trying to work on building that speed. So that's my focus for June. This week though, so I'm recording this and uploading this on Tuesday, June 3rd. So this week, I am taking it so easy. When it comes to training for something, and seriously, shout out to all the people who did the half and the full. Like, there is so much time, energy, and effort that goes into training. And I very much was dedicated to training for my 10K, so much so that, yes, I know that there were people that were like, oh, she's doing just a 10K, and why is she taking it so seriously? Well, when I couldn't even run a mile at the beginning of January, like, I'm really freaking proud of myself. And that leads me into the next thing that I'm going to talk about, which is don't be afraid to be proud to be a beginner. Show and share the beginning steps, because so often people are showing and sharing their best or their chapter 10 or their chapter 100. And we forget everybody starts as a beginner. You guys, I was just editing a podcast episode for one of my clients, Molly Asplin, who has Lindsay Baumgren of Nourish Move Love on her show. And Lindsay's like, I've been doing this for 10 years, and I started recording from my iPhone solo and posting on my blog by myself. And so often we want to see the progress in a short amount of time. And while, I started training in January, 6 months, June, like it really was a 5-month training scope of things. Like I could totally get down on myself and be like, oh my gosh, I should just be at under 1 hour 10K. But like, I'm really realistic in the expectation that I have in the time that I'm giving something, because I know there have been people that have been running for years and years and years, and people who have never stopped running, and people who I'm not going to compare my chapter 10, but I'm going to show and share my chapter 1, because when I get to chapter 10, I'm going to be like, you guys remember when? I have a podcast episode that talks about, because when I got to about mile 4, I really had to work hard to push myself through. While I'm saying the run was great, the 10K was absolutely perfect from a weather, a vibe, and energy, and how I was feeling standpoint. Like, it was still very much a challenge. Running 6 miles is a challenge. And like, I felt it big time. And even when, I do next year's 10K or another 10K some other time, it can still definitely be a challenge, even when you are more experienced. The experience doesn't take away the hardship. The experience just really continues to change and be a challenge and a trial, and it's a different kind of hard, is what I'm trying to say. So the race was so good this week. I've just been taking it so easy. Yesterday I went for a walk. Today I went for a walk, and I'm just not worried about workouts, because next week I'm going to be starting the Nourish, Move, Love, Overload 30 2-week plan. So I'm really excited about that. I'll be pushing myself then. I'll be adding some runs back in, and I'm just like taking my time to ease back in. So it was awesome. It was so good. I really encourage you. It doesn't have to be running. It doesn't have to, just do something that's like new and different and out of your comfort zone, and something you have to stay committed to, because I've wanted to do this for at least 2 years now. But every time I push off signing up for the event, something else would come on the calendar, and I'd be like, well, I can't do it now because this and that and this and that is on the calendar. And this year, January, I'm like, I am signing up for this. I have to do this for myself. I have to commit to this for myself. I have to follow through with this for myself, regardless of what comes up. Well, if something very, 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 very urgent came up, especially for my husband or especially for one of my kids, obviously things happen, life happens, where it's like, okay, well, that didn't work out, and that would be okay. But if it was just like, I just had to make the commitment to myself and follow through on that promise that I made to myself, because for so many years I've been allowing myself to bend and mesh around everything else and not making my things a priority for me. And if that lands for you, if you're like, yeah, that I get what you're saying there, Joelle. Like, maybe you don't have that same situation and circumstance, but like, that feeling. I just really want to encourage you, like, start following through on yourself, and start following through on yourself imperfectly, because not every single week from January to May 31st, when the race was perfect trading. Like, I really did my best. There were definitely some weeks where it was like blizzard and kids home, and I can't, like, we don't have a treadmill, and I couldn't commute to where our gym membership was, and I just had to navigate some of those things, but I stayed committed and course corrected when I needed to. The next thing that I wanted to talk about, and this has been heavy on my heart, I did share a little bit about this on my social media, because it's something that, now that I know better, I'm like, I am so sorry for when I used to say this, because this is something that I used to say. This is something that I learned. This is something that I used to teach. And it is the narrative of like doing things in the mom cracks of the day. And this really stemmed from starting out with network marketing. Like, so many network marketing strategies are around this, like, you can be a mom and do this, and you can do it in the mom cracks of the day. And while I think, yes, you can do that, I also think it's an awful strategy and an awful message to send to moms. And here's why. And if you disagree with me on this, that's okay. I am open to hearing your side of things, and like, we can chit chat about it. But what I am saying is from my wisdom. there is no doubt in my mind that I have been in the online work from home internet era for the last 14 years. So I have a lot of wisdom. I have a lot of knowledge. I've built multiple successful businesses, from MLM to courses and coaching, and now being a service provider. Like, I feel like I can say this, and I can say this with my whole chest, because while I've been in the industry for 14 years, I've been a mom for almost 9. Like, oh my God, my oldest is almost 9. That makes me like, what? How did that happen? But this I'm just trying to think about how to start my thoughts, you guys. Like, this energy of like, I'm doing it in the mom cracks of the day is a really awful strategy, because I think it can be another way of moms thinking that we need to do it all by ourselves. And I think of some of myself and some of my friends where it's like we just keep adding things onto our plate because we were ingrained in this mindset of we can do it in the mom cracks of the day. Oh, there's this white space in the day. I could do it here. I could do it there. I could do it this. I could do this. I can take on this, and I can take on that, and I can take on this, and I can take on that. And I really think that it hasn't served us. I'm going to get Lauren Ricks's permission to share this, but talking with her as best friends do was one of the pivotal ways where my brain went on, my light bulb came on, and I was like, girl, this whole we can do everything in the mom cracks of the day strategy is not serving us well. Okay, so let me tell you about my best friend Lauren Ricks, because she's amazing. She is a mom. She is a doula, so she works nights caring for and supporting postpartum moms and babies. She decided on homeschooling her oldest this last school year, and then she threw on grad school because she has big goals, big dreams, and that is her next step to getting to the next chapter of her life. And when she was, starting to navigate grad school, she was messaging me. And as when you start anything new, right? Like, it's a little overwhelming and you're kind of like, I'm crazy. What did I sign myself up for? She didn't say that, but she was just messaging me, and she was talking about how she was going to get reading done while she was in the car waiting for school pickup line and this and that. And I was like, dude, we do not need to make everything work into the mom cracks of the day. It's okay. And not even saying this to Lauren, but I know I've had to say this to myself a lot, where it's moms need support too. And whether that is support with childcare, or whether that's support with cleaning, getting a house cleaner, whether that's support in meal delivery kits. I don't care what kind of support it is. Or grocery delivery. Grocery delivery by itself could be a support tool that you use, right? It's that outsourcing implement. And while I think people can get way on the other side of outsourcing, where when you take yourself out of some things, it's gonna take away. But referring back to this episode is going to come out on Dream It, Do It on Tuesday, guys. So a week from today. So if you go subscribe to Molly Asplin's Dream It, Do It podcast, you'll get the notification when it comes out with Lindsay. But Lindsay is the founder of Nourish, Move, Love, online workouts, free website, just crazy cool to hear her whole business story and strategy. And when Molly was asking her about this support and capacity type of thing, Lindsay never was ingrained that she could do it all in the mom cracks of the day all by herself. She flat out said, I realized I needed full-time childcare for my children. And I'm going to share honestly, yesterday I was sending out messages to my clients on errors that I made, because last week was a gap week in between the kids being done with school and summer care wasn't started yet. And so I was working in the mom cracks and with my kids home. And we also took a day off for my anniversary. It was my husband and I's 10-year anniversary. And there was Memorial Day. And I made mistakes last week. And I know it was because I was working under a limited time frame. There was a lot of pressure and also a lot of minute distractions. My kids are very used to me coming into the office and working. They're very used to that. It is very normal for them. They know when I go in the office, I'm working. When I come out, I'm mom. Like that is a beauty with podcast production. Whereas talking back to the people who are talking about like doing everything in the mom cracks of the day, like I get to be a mom and I get to build this really big business of my dreams. It's really not working in the mom cracks. It's working in the mom overlap. Everything is bleeding into everything else, or you're on everything all of the time. And that can be a strategy for a short while. Like I said, I'm 14 years into this. I know when there are times to hustle, and I know when there are times to have that overlap. Like last week, last week was one of those times I had to do it in that time. I couldn't work ahead because my people didn't have their recordings to me. I couldn't be behind because they have episodes that publish on certain days. And so I had to get it done. But also when I made the errors and made the mistakes, I was like, well, that is avoided when I'm working from home and the kids aren't home. The kids aren't like needing my time and energy, or I'm not feeling guilty about like, oh gosh, I'm in here and they're doing what. And like with the like influencers, network marketers, these people who are like, I do it in the mom cracks of the day. It's either they're always on all the time or everything is overlapped. And like I said, if you are the type of person, because I do believe there is a type of person that probably does thrive in that, where the multitasking is just how you were meant to operate. I used to think I was that way. I used to think I was really good at multitasking and doing all of the things all of the time. But then I learned from Chalene Johnson and I learned about the brain, and I actually learned that's not how your brain actually optimally works. It often creates a stress signal to the brain when lots of things are happening all at once. And I'm a single task focused person. Like when my mind is on one thing, I like to start and finish it. Oftentimes, even with episodes, I'm not starting the episode until I know I've got the space and time to fully finish and produce it. Because if I start it and then I go do something else and then I come back, oftentimes a step gets skipped. That's what happened to me last year. And thank the Lord, I have amazing clients that are moms where I can take ownership of the mistakes that I made and be like, oh my gosh, this is how I'm going to make it right, and move on, right? Actually, moving on from it wasn't that easy. I actually had to do a lot of mindset work because when I make mistakes, I get really hard on myself. And then I start being like, well, you suck at this. Like, what an amateur move. I start being like, why are you doing this in the first place? Like, what a rookie mistake. You shouldn't be making rookie mistakes if you've been doing this for so many years. But anyways, that's just something that's really been on my mind and something that I wanted to articulate because I'm a verbal processor. And when I shared this on social media, a lot of ladies were like, oh my gosh, I'm still trying to get over this mindset of like, I need to be doing something all the time, or I can do it all by myself, or I can just make this fit. Like I'm holding all of this. I can just add this and add this and add this and add this. And yeah, it's just crazy. And I really think like it's a strategy to work in the mom cracks of the day, but I don't think it's a long-term strategy. And if it gets so ingrained in your head, it can really become an awfully toxic strategy of like just burning yourself out or having unrealistic expectations or overwhelm, overload. I don't know what else I'm looking for, but you guys, it's June. I said it earlier. It's June 3rd today. I think I'm going to take a little bit of time to do a mid-year reset and look at what I was really thinking about. Now, I mostly plan out quarterly when it comes to goal setting and things like that. I don't tend to be like, oh, in 1 year, I want to be da-da-da. I mostly just look at quarter by quarter, but we are mid-year. So why not just do a little self-check-in for this year? You know, I had huge intentions of health and fitness goals and weight loss. And while I'm so proud to say I've lost 15 pounds, I still definitely can say I wish it would be more. I've had friends lose way more, way faster. And I'm like, like here I am. But this last month, I would say, May, I didn't put a lot of effort and energy into being a calorie deficit because I wanted to perform well in my 10K. So like I said, 3 weeks leading up to the 10K, I went into ChatGPT and I was like, okay, this is around what I've been eating from a calorie standpoint. I kind of looked at the last week and I'm like, and overall, I've been eating around this many carbs, but I do want to perform well for this race. I know I need to increase my calories slowly and my carbs, and I want to do that in a way that does not make me gain weight back. So kind of like a reverse diet. And I put this into ChatGPT and it gave me week by week around where I should be calorie wise and carb wise for the last 3 weeks of May. And I have to say, like, I've really, really enjoyed that my anniversary, which my husband and I bought a sauna for our anniversary present together, and it is bomb.com. I absolutely love it. End of the day, we are putting the boys to bed. The sauna's heating up. Once the boys are in bed and asleep, we hop in the sauna for I'm around 20 to 25 minutes, take a shower, do my skincare, and I have been having the best nights of sleep ever. What was I talking about before that? Mid-year reset, food and nutrition. Oh, my anniversary was right before the 10K. So the increase in calories and increase in carbs being intentional around then was really awesome. We also went golfing and for my anniversary, and that was so fun. I got golf clubs for Mother's Day. First time I ever swung a club, and I'm not good, but I wasn't terrible. I'm going to be honest. I wasn't terrible. And I was like, oh, I think I'm going to be getting into this. So I tried something new. The last couple summers, the new things I was trying was wake surfing. This year it is golfing. So catch me out on the golf course if there's any local ladies that want to go golfing with me and also simultaneously teach me how to golf. That'd be great. I'll pay. And we can have a good time. Like, I'll have fun. You can teach me whatever you want to teach me and we'll have a good time. And doing this mid-year reset. So kind of relooking at like where my business is at, my clientele load, my capacity, my intentions. I'm really focused this summer on like just staying so grounded. I've gotten back into reading my Bible and doing my Bible study in the morning. That has been so epic and awesome. And, when you are on a weight loss journey, it does take up a lot of energy and capacity. So it is kind of nice that my business is at such a good, steady pace that I'm not worried about growing my business. And that's why I've been able to put so much time, energy, and focus on my body. And it kind of goes back to what I was talking about with the mom cracks. It's like, I think I used to expect myself to have and achieve these big goals with my business and then my body and then my personal growth and my this and that and all the things. And now I'm just like, no, I have my focuses. I ask for help. I seek support. I prioritize what's important to me also, like as much as I can as a mom, because, there were definitely times and days where I'm like, I can't go on a long run because I can't leave my 2 kids home by themselves so that I can go on a long run. You know what I mean? But in those times, I would try to like seek support where I could and do like change my scheduling and then stick to my scheduling once I changed it. Right. So yeah, I'm thinking about doing a mid-year reset. I don't have a complete strategy for it. It might not be like super formal, but I'm going to look back through my Horatio planner. As you guys, if you follow me on Instagram, I shared my Bible study, and you guys know I've talked about the love of my planner and my dream planning that goes along with my planner. I did reach out and ask, like, do you guys have an affiliate? Because while I've shared them for years because I just love them, now I'm like, why not get an affiliate? I actually had a friend tell me that, like, why not reach out for these sponsorships or affiliates? Because like the brands are here to get in front of other people's audiences. So I will be going through my planner and just kind of doing a check-in on, where my thoughts were at the beginning of the year and where are they now? What has stayed the same? What has changed? And it is kind of a grounding point for me with my weight loss to kind of like get back to it, not be as, I wasn't loosey goosey, but I was definitely intentional with eating more, so I could hit my performance goals with my 10K. And then now it's like to diet back down a little bit and try to get to that goal. That my birthday is in August. So that's kind of a benchmark that I'm looking forward to. And yeah, thanks so much for hanging out with me today. If there's anything that you want to chat about, come on over to Instagram, send me a DM. I love when you guys come from the podcast to Instagram and share like, oh my gosh, this, that, and the other thing. Hit home. If you could leave a rating and review. This podcast is just meant to be a space and place that feels like a really good quality conversation with a friend, while getting some nuggets and tidbits that will be beneficial to you to utilize in your life, but also a space and place of grace and understanding. And so I may have ruffled some feathers or sparked something within you with the whole like doing things in the mom cracks of the day is an awful strategy. And I'm open to having a different conversation if like you think it's the best thing that's ever happened to you. But also to the online entrepreneurs and to the people, like, don't forget other people have wisdom. Like I said, I was in network marketing for 13, 14 years, online business, 14, been the course creator, been a coach, did one-on-one stuff, now a service provider. Like, try not to set up the wall when I'm only trying to seep wisdom. Okay? Thanks so much for hanging out with me today, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.